Kia ora, hello. Welcome to a new series where we are therapeutic through visual and tactile creation. Today's topic, what are we going to talk about today? It's been a lot on my mind, and actually, I am sick and tired of you not putting yourself first. And I also have a flu of some sort. There's one thing for sure, no vampires are treading near my existence. I have had copious amounts of garlic. This virus that I have is actually passing through me a lot quicker than other colds that I've had in the past. And I would attribute it to all the nutrients I'm having, which is fantastic. But something that lemon and honey drinks cannot do for you is heal your selflessness. You have got to stop being selfless. Hear me out. Selflessness is beautiful, okay? You are sacrificing yourself in order for other people to experience happiness, for other people to be comfortable. That's well and good until your own psychological health is completely disregarded because of someone else. There is a difference between being kind and being nice. A very wise man once told me that, and it has stuck with me, and it's something that I keep in my back pocket, and it really helps with being able to distinguish whether or not I'm protecting my peace and doing what I need to do, or if I'm doing something and shadowing my own light in order to make someone else's light shine. So if we were to define being kind, kindness is more so related to a character, and it's a definition of someone. If you were to ask, hey, what's Timmy like? Describe them in 3 words. It's a lot more telling of their character to say that they are kind. It's attributed more to having your heart in the right place and having the right intention for other people and yourself to have the best outcome, and kindness is a bit more authentic of someone's character, right? Whereas niceness usually can be a sort of mask that people wear in order to be perceived in a way. Now, I'm not saying that people that are nice are actually mean and evil, and they're not nice at all. A lot of the time someone will be nice when someone else is watching, or they know that they have an audience. Whereas being kind, I sort of would attribute that's just how someone is, whether they're being watched or not. I think it is important that people stop being nice and they start being kind. And this also links to being selfish and selfless. I'm distinguishing the word selfless so you can hear exactly that I'm referring to selflessness and selfishness. I think a lot of the time it's very easy to fall into this notion that if you speak up and disagree with the consensus of the group, to go against the grain, it's almost like breaking the law. Not to the degree of going to jail, but you feel isolated and rude sometimes, and like you're doing the wrong thing. It's actually okay. It's not that painful of a feeling. You think that it feels bad, but then if you actually do it, it doesn't feel bad at all. And usually most of the time people don't, depending on the topic and things like that, can push that all aside. People don't usually really care too much. They're so worried about their own perception, how people are perceiving them. So a lot of the time people like to sort of fall into the category of being a sheep and just going with the crowd and laughing along and seeing how things go, right? And that's how bullies can form, and really mean people can get away with doing nasty things, because everyone wants to conform and no one wants to go against the grain. This is where going against the grain is not that terrible, and recognizing that you actually have the confidence, even if you think you're not confident, you do have the power to stand up for what you believe in and to stand with it. If someone hurts you and they break a boundary, and a lot of the time people like to push the boundaries, and if you have this very flimsy sort of fence that you've put up where the defenses aren't very strong, mind the pun, people will take advantage of that and they'll push you around, and you'll get the brutal end of the stick. You'll feel hurt and upset a lot of the time because you think that people are being mean to you, but you actually need to reflect on yourself and recognize that in order for you to stop getting hurt, you need to put up a boundary, you need to make it clear, and the people that continue to disrespect that boundary no longer serve any good in your life, and it may require you to cut them off or to minimize the contact you have with them. And who knows, maybe they'll mature and grow and change and they'll turn into someone that has a respect for boundaries.
With all of that being said, it is so important to keep in mind what it is that's actually upset you. Have you, in your mind, created an expectation, maybe an unrealistic expectation, and they have not stood up to the plate and done what you thought was morally right or what you had expected? Because a lot of the time we as humans, as people, will feel let down and really disappointed, upset, and will take offense, take it personally if someone does something in a way that is against our expectation. And that's usually due to other people being people and following their own morals and their own sense of place in the world and just doing what they think is right. A lot of the time people aren't intentionally being malicious just so you're upset. You have to be so mindful to be clear, communicate how you expect to be treated, and when you do that, you also have to step up to the plate and treat people how you want to be treated. There's that famous old saying, treat others how you want to be treated, and at one point in my life someone had said to me that was absolute bull turd and that you shouldn't treat others how you want to be treated, and that doesn't make any sense. But I think that if you treat others with kindness, it's the respectful and right thing to then be treated with kindness as well, to reciprocate that energy. It may be difficult to do, but if someone's nasty to you, I think you should then greet it with kindness. Let it go and just don't interact with them again or create that distance between the two of you. You don't have to react to it. Now, of course, every single situation is so different, and what I've just said may not work to your situation, especially if it's something that's putting you at harm or someone else in harm's way. You can be precautious and take the right action, of course. Essentially, what I'm saying is some ideas that will hopefully help you reflect and think about things in a different perspective. Another point to be mindful of is niceness can actually be coming from a place of people pleasing, which is a whole nother topic I would love to delve into. But to skim the surface today, I think it's important to recognize in a situation if you're avoiding conflict in order so you're saying yes or agreeing with someone in a way for doing something to make someone else feel comfortable, which comes under dimming your own lights so that other people's lights can shine bright. I think that form of niceness is also, it's a fear of hurting other people. And it's a fear of letting others down. Even though if you say no to someone, you're not actually letting them down, but it can feel so threatening to hurting someone. So I think that's a whole nother form of something that can be reflected on, and that's definitely being nice rather than being kind. Putting yourself first in a kind way is better than putting others first to be nice. Maybe you're already this wise and noble, beautiful human being that's super peaceful and you don't need to change how you're thinking. Maybe you already think this way. Who knows? It's okay. I'm just speaking some words right now, it's okay.
You're not hurting anyone by standing up for yourself. You're hurting yourself if you do not stand up and make it clear. A lot of the time people don't know that they're being nasty or mean. So if they're actually a good person, then they'll apologise, try and make an effort or some sort of plan to change, or just to be conscious of not doing that thing again intentionally. A lot of the time people are human, after all, they'll make mistakes and they might do it again a couple times or something, but you have to recognise when someone's doing something on purpose and when something's accidentally happening. People that are upset with your boundaries are people that want to disrespect your boundaries. A boundary isn't like a door, it should be a bridge. You have a moat around your castle for safety. You have a boundary, which is the bridge that people can walk over to then get to your castle. None of this is real therapy. Don't take this advice and then run with it, and then if you've got a need to go to a real therapist, then go to a real therapist. I'm not an actual therapist. This is just title for a video where I can chat and draw at the same time. Because I think every single person on earth has really, really awesome, unique viewpoints and ideas and perspective, and I think it's really wonderful if a conversation is had where you can just talk and gain new perspective. I think it's great. I dare you this week to put yourself first and see how you feel by the end of the week. If you journal, you could write to your diary, say how you're feeling in this present moment, and then be conscious of how you step up for yourself throughout this week without being nasty. We're being kind, we're not being nice, we're also not being nasty. By the end of the week, just recognize, have another reflection and just see how things, if there is a difference at all. If there's not a difference, and it's what a revelation. How cool is that? I'm not here to to change you. I'll likely just inspire you. Maybe I do have that effect in some way, but it's not necessarily my intention. I'm just speaking my mind, and that is what art therapy is all about. The therapeutic practice of creating. And this is my beautiful creation. I'm not quite sure what it is. I was very absent-mindedly getting into this. Yeah, I quite like it. It's very unique, very doodle-like. Appreciate you, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. Ka kite. Bye.